Okay. All right. So welcome once again to this session. This is meant to be a webinar where you just get like a simple knowledge, simple idea of what to expect moving forward, where we can just tell you what we have in store and our plans moving forward because we are bringing up a course right now. Gamma part generally, first and first is Gamma part is a more of a tech learning community, right? Not just even learning alone. Now, we also help people get jobs. We connect people. We help do more of CV revamp and the likes. But basically, what we are doing now is to teach people different areas in tech, but especially people who are looking to migrate into tech. So then we have different courses going on from product design to data analysis, and now this is cloud computing, right? And we have like a course coming up, a full 4 months detailed end-to-end bootcamp that will take you from start to finish, right? It's going to be starting, I think, on Saturday, which should be on Saturday, we should be 11 o'clock, right? 11 o'clock on Saturday. But moving on, this is just going to be like a simple webinar to get you, you know, let you understand what you are, coming up in, and also what you are going to learn, right? And the plans we have moving forward. All right. So first and first, I want to give you an introduction to cloud computing. And cloud computing basically is I don't know, is anybody here who was in the last I think the last where we had something like this so similar was no should be last year in December. Was Is anybody here who was in that previous session? Can you guys hear me? I'm speaking English or not French.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I
Uh,
wasn't.
yeah, no problem. I was wondering why nobody was saying anything. So we have Kazim, we have Wisdom, we have Paul, and we have Uzo. All right, so my name is David yeah, right, and I am a cloud DevOps engineer. I've been in this for quite some time, and I spent about over 8 years in IT and the tech space. But for DevOps, I spent over 4 or 5 years in cloud computing, DevOps, SRE, and the likes. So now basically, cloud computing is delivery of computing services over the internet. Now, very, very simple, very straightforward definition. Delivery of computing services over the internet. A good example is some of us, we joined this particular session with our phones or our laptop. Since it's even Zoom, I feel like most people would use their laptop, right, to join something like this. Now, imagine if that laptop like this, you don't have to, like, let's say you want to use a laptop or you want to connect to a laptop, you don't have to go to the market and buy a physical machine. Imagine if you're able to provision something like this on the internet where you can connect to it on your phone. So imagine like your laptop now, you can connect to your laptop from your phone, right? Or even using your research. Nowadays we have research that actually like searches the internet and stuff like that. And look, I don't know, you look at all these things from your car. People who have all those Android screens or sort of AI kind of system. As far as your computer or as far as that machine and has access to the internet, just imagine, right, how you can connect to your computer. And now look at how cheap this is going to be. Because look at if you want to compare, to get a laptop, you need to go to the market, right? To get like a laptop and stuff like that. You need to get laptop, you get charger, you have to install so many things on it. Then imagine instead of you going to the market, with just few clicks on the internet, with just signing up here and there, you're able to set up something like this. Now, this is a very basic example. And that idea again is for some of us that use Apple. right? You are familiar with iCloud, or they use Android, and familiar with Google Drive. You see all those storage thing where they will now tell you you pay to get extra storage, right? That is also an example of cloud computing. That is also an example of cloud computing, right? Because the fact that they call it cloud computing does not now mean that it is on air and it's just invincible. It just means that you're using another person's computer, right? Now, that is where the the storage thing I spoke about now comes in handy. You see, when you use iCloud, I think they have different plans. They have the 900 naira per month. They have the 1,200 naira per month. I'm talking about people who are here in Nigeria, right? And they'll tell you, okay, if you pay 900 naira per month, you get like maybe an extra 50 gig every month. Now, what they've done in that sense is that they have built a data center or a warehouse that has they now put so many now that warehouse, let's say they put like 30 terabytes. Do you understand? They put like 30 terabytes in that warehouse where they built that whole storage system up to 30 terabytes. Then what they're now doing is to now sell bits by bits to people. So when they sell to you, they will now give you extra 50 gig. So you now they'll give you 50 gig, but all they are just doing is they'll just separate and say, okay, fine, extend this person's memory to use 50 gig. You see all those kind of logic that is there. Then let me come back to outside tech. Now let's come back to people who sell, do retail and wholesale, right? And let's look at those guys that have like um retail kind of setting. So they get all the resources, they get all the noodles and all those things. Then they sell one to each person. You understand? Now, all these things, now look at it happening on the internet, look at it happening across devices. These are all examples of cloud computing. That's why you say cloud computing is delivery of computing services, right? Examples are servers, we have storage, we have databases, we have networking, software, and all these things. Like your AI now, for example. Your AI is another example again of cloud computing, right? Because all these guys, all we know is we go to ChatGPT, we go to Claude, but Claude is stored somewhere. Do you understand? You are trying to access Claude from a particular place. These days, before when they started, if you remember, you can't actually upload a picture and give like maybe Claude or ChatGPT. But now you can upload a picture. That picture you're uploading, do you know it actually stores somewhere? You keep that picture somewhere, but you just don't know. Now, where cloud computing comes in handy is because is where you now go behind the scenes, right? You now go into the whole technical part of understanding how all these things connect to themselves, right? How you are also able to set up your own server, your own virtual machine, because your physical computer, right? Physically, we know it as PC, that's personal computer. When it comes to the internet, we call them virtual machines. Like I said, imagine if you're able to set up your own personal computer on the internet. You don't need to go to the store, you don't need to go to the market. And the good thing is, they will now you only pay for as long as you use it. Some of us we have laptops that we use them like once in a while. I'm sure there are people like that. We use them once in a while. Now imagine that you would only pay for that once in a while that you use the laptop. So instead of you going to buy like a laptop now of like 500K or thereabouts, for example, right, a laptop of 500K just to watch movies or probably just to play game. Imagine if you're able to just provision a virtual machine online and you'd only pay for that time that the machine is running. Now I'm not saying that is all you can do with this, right? This is me just giving different examples and different kind of ideas to what cloud computing is. Now this goes beyond just storage and servers. Now, for example, this goes to networking, right? Now imagine you having a computer here in Lagos, and that person in the US can connect to that same computer. Is that not cool, right? This is not even a new thing. This is something that most organizations do. Sorry, they use rather. This is something that they use. This is something that works with the whole internet. You see the whole idea of internet, how one website connects to one place. For people here who have an idea of software development and whatnot, how you're able to go to your website and put in www.google.com and Google comes up. That the whole mathematics that happens behind the scene. Do you understand? Now, that's what we are diving into. And since the whole thing happens on the internet, we call them cloud computing. We call them cloud computing. And they are now like different characteristics, right? One is you are able to provision them when you need them, which is at any time you can say, oh, fine, you need to set up a storage account, right? Look at your Google Drive. Look at your Google Drive. Look at your what's it called? Your iCloud. Anytime you need extra storage, all you have to do is just to go and pay. Does not mean that oh, it, it works in the morning, it does not work in the afternoon. No, anytime you need it, same thing, right? And same thing with broad network access. As far as any device you have can access the internet, you are good to go. Resource pooling, just like I said, these guys they built like data centers with like different resources, right? And all you do is just to go there and get a particular portion of what you need. Rapid elasticity. Remember when for some of us here that are in Nigeria, right? Remember when that whole Naira cashless time happened, where so many people were using transfers and not many people were using the banks were not working or cash was limited. If you notice, that was when all these banks like OPay, Money Points, Kuda Bank, they rose, Pampay. That was when they became very famous and very influential. These banks they've been there for quite some time, right? But because but because people didn't know about them, people don't use them. Everything was just was just like they were just there working. But at that time, banks like First Bank, Access Bank, Zenith. In fact, there was like one time during that period, like one whole week, Zenith Bank did not even open, right? Because those guys, their systems were not limited. PalmPay, Money Point, OPay, and all these guys, their own, they built their whole infrastructure on cloud. So when customers came in, when everybody started registering, all they had to do was to expand. It's like walking inside a room that has automatic expansion, where the room would expand every time we have like 30 people inside. Just imagine now you walk inside a room. Once it completes 30, no, that's the total number of people that are inside that particular room gets to 30, the room will expand. You know what I'm saying? Once probably you add like extra 10 to expand again. And when people start leaving that room, it automatically start coming back together. And that was the same logic those guys now use. That's why if you go to Jumia now, for example, go to Jumia, you will not for once open Jumia and see that Jumia has downtime because Jumia is built on cloud. So when customers come in, look at Black Fridays and the likes, when customers rushing, all they do is to expand their resources, right, or their infrastructure. Their measured service, you only pay for what you use. So let's say you set up a virtual machine like this, but you not turn it on. You just set it up and you left it not turned off. You now probably come back after like one day to turn it on and do something. They will charge you for only that one day that you used it for. Now there are different things, right? There are different things that you can do with cloud computing. And these are like now things we would go into. These are now things we would go into join the course. We are looking to do this in 4 months, right? To teach you so many things. Now let me bring up now there are like so many things that are still in this same PDF slide, right? We want to talk about why these characteristics matter, the types of cloud services. We'll go in depth, right? But for now, this is just meant to be like something to prep you, right? To let you know that you are not, making a mistake registering for something like this. Because one, as far as you have the internet, you would always need this skill, right? This whole aspect of tech looks like cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity, they are like the police of the internet. There you have normal police moving about. Now, cybersecurity, these guys are like the police of the internet. So many things that you have to do, so many ways you have to protect. You have to protect the internet, protect your people, protect yourself, and all this. That's why you have cyber attacks, right? And now in Nigeria, they made it compulsory that all banks must have a cyber security team. Literally all banks. That's why now you see that there are so many vacancies for people who do cyber security. Same thing with cloud computing. There are so many vacancies for people who do cloud DevOps. Like this is like a career path that with consistency and hard work, let's say you have 6 months, you start, you would actually be like in a very, very good place. Do you understand? You be in a very good place. No jokes. But it is now, but now, even if you have 4 months, 4 months is not going to be enough to even teach everything. In like 4 months is not enough to get you perfect, which is now where your own hard comes in. Now, within those 4 months, we are looking to have classes twice every week, right? But again, those are things that we'll still talk more in other things. Hold on. I want to bring in this. I guess you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Are you seeing the course outline here? Let me send this. Let me send this to. Can you see the course outline, or are you still seeing why this characteristics matter?
I'm saying the course outline.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hold on. I want to send like a link to I want to send like a link to the course outline, right? Because okay. Yeah. So now, just to give like a breakdown of the different things we'll be talking about, right, during this course, we'll have introduction to cloud computing. They're like job downs step by step. I've also sent a link to the chat, right, so you can take some time, look at it, look at what you'll be learning during that whole 4 months, during the 4 months course. So there's what is cloud computing, you have the history, then you have the benefits. All these are still like more of because this area of tech, right, is more of practical. Do more of practical here, not too much of the talking and explanation and all those things. But this is now something that every single person can learn as far as you're willing to do the work, trust me. Then from cloud computing, we have DevOps. Now, cloud computing is like saying, if you go to a school and say you learn engineering, right? Engineering is like the general name. They will now have different niche under it. We have civil engineering, we have architectural engineering, we have computer engineering, we have industrial engineering, and all those kind of things, right? Even petroleum engineering, all under that same name, engineering. That's how cloud computing is. Under cloud computing, we have DevOps, we have solution architect, we have infrastructure, we have other type. We have DevSecOps. Now, DevSecOps is where you now put cloud computing and cybersecurity together, right? That's where both of them come together. One person can play both sides, and because this role is flexible, right? Because the role is like a bit flexible, or because the skill itself rather is flexible. That's why learning about cloud computing, if you have that knowledge, you can play other roles, or you have to just spend extra time to learn something. But trust me, you'll be able to play other roles. So we have fundamentals now, DevOps. We're talking about DevOps, the culture, sorry, version control systems. And from here on, even from that DevOps part, things start getting practical, right? Things start getting practical. We have where you start learning about Linux, you start learning about Ubuntu, you learn about the different ways of writing, Linux simple command, basic commands, right? Run simple package applications, then go into Docker, learn about containerization, all these things. You have so all these things, you have different areas. Some of these things might sound new to you and they might sound complex, right? Well, trust me, there are things that you can actually learn, and there are things we are going to go in depth with. At the end of this course, you would, if all this is, if some of these terminologies I'm calling, right, like containerization, Docker, I'm talking about versioning, I'm talking about Kubernetes, you don't have to worry about them, right? You don't have to worry about them. What I am doing is let you know, or to probably list the tools, right? That at the end of this, in fact, 2 3 months into this program, you would have at least done something simple on this. Then we have other, cloud services, right? We have compute services, we have storage services, we have databases, we have, serverless, all those kind of things, or even infrastructure. Some of this might not make sense again, once again, but I've sent the link to the chat. Gives detailed information of every single thing, and towards the end of towards the end of the towards the end of the course, right? You will do like a capstone project. In what sense? Every single thing we've taught you, those things are practical, but it's like breaking it down step by step, right? I do practical, tell you how this is going or how that is going. Then capstone project is now where you now put all these things together. Do you understand? Where you now set up your own complete infrastructure, your own complete environment. You have your own pipeline. You have your own, infrastructure set up basically. And you also even do more of a documentation. Walk me through. Trust me. Trust when I say that it is not impossible. Yes, I am not promising it's going to be easy, right? But because generally that's how tech is. No field is easy. You have product designs, you have cyber security, you have data analytics, you have data science, data engineering, and none of these things come in very, very easy. So I'm not promising it's going to be a walk in the park. But what I'm saying is I'll work with you, right? I will teach you, I'll work with you, I'll be there to, and it's also going to be like a community kind of relationship where every single person here will be connected. Do you understand? Where every single person here is going to be connected. We'll be able to do so many things together because they say if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, then you go with people, go with the community, which is something Rema Part is trying to do, right? Trying to teach, trying to walk you through, and trying to take you from beginner to pro. So if you won't check it, you'll see from beginner to pro. At the end of this course, right, you will have a very, very good understanding, and you will also be able to even apply for, jobs. Do you understand? You'll be able to apply for jobs, you'll be able to apply for internships, and I think you'll be doing very, very well because it's going to be practical based, not too much English, not too much, talking. It's more of practical because as a cloud engineer, I'm not lying to you. You spend more time solving problems. Sometimes you would even solve problems that you created. Do you understand? You don't that built it. It will work on your computer. When you send it out like this, it's not going to work again. Some people who are in software development or who have even had that kind of experience, I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. Then there's also certification parts. So grammar parts, yes, would also help with putting you on the path for different certifications. Now, in this area here, we have different certifications scattered around, right? And those certificates are like exam based. So you write the exam to get that particular certificate. That particular exam is to show that you have this particular skill. So let's say, for example, Microsoft has 4 different certifications you would write. We have the AZ900, we have AZ104, we have AZ400, we have AZ500, right? And each of these things, they show they're like exams you write, right? To show that okay, they have their own basics. Like AZ900 is the basics. So basics idea of how Microsoft or how Azure, how the cloud environment works. AZ104 is like a bit technical. 400 is for DevOps. So Gamma Part will help you, will put you on the right path here. And because you're already one of us, would also help with LinkedIn profile optimization, would help with resources that you can, if you want to further your learning, and also interview preparations, right? So I also have like interview preparation and career advancement strategies where I can come in, prep you for an interview, walk you through. So it is more of, at the end of this, trust me, at the end of this, you literally be, at a good place where you'll be proud to, have put in this work. Yes, it's not going to be easy. I'm not lying. So if you think you would come and you get things easy, and you come, you get things easy, or it's something that you easily give up. No. Courses like this go very, very far. I have course that I paid for this same cloud computing that goes to $500 in total. Say you want to even learn. Now I already know it, right? I know it, but there are now some things you have to move further with. It's like also AI. I remember when I started working at some point, and I really didn't pay for ChatGPT Premium. I was always like, I should be able to do these things myself. See, one day I had an issue. I went to speak with my boss. My boss, when I was telling him the issue, he was typing. I thought maybe it was even maybe in a chat or something. This guy was literally asking AI. When he now forwarded the conversation to me, and I saw that he was using ChatGPT Pro. So I was like, if me that, I just have like 2 years in this thing as at 10, and this guy has like 7 years, he still goes back and check and not to ask questions, because that is what the internet is built for, right? To ask questions. And like I said, in this field, you spend more time solving problems. Most of those problems, you don't even created them. Do you understand? The good thing is you will now work, you'll be in the middle of a community and in the middle of a system that wants you to grow, and that wants to make things, a system that wants you to grow, and a system that would support you, right, from start to finish. So other things again that you will still pick during the course is hands-on lab, weekly hands-on lab. Now, this is now where we talk about, you know, how frequent the classes will go. So there's also real world case studies, right? You work on real world projects. You work on projects that 4 months. Within the 4 months, even your GitHub account would be there. Your Medium account, your Medium profile, you will not just come and be at the entry level or the ground zero level that you are right now. You be at least intermediate. Do you understand? You will be familiar with so many of all these things. But the good thing again is you would also want to learn and also move forward. There will be quizzes and also together after. The plan, I have, since I am the lead, tutor for this particular course, is to have it twice in a week, because I understand some of us have full-time jobs. So it's to have it 2 times every week. One is going to be on Saturday, right? The time I am not sure yet. I'm looking to um, talk with people here to know, if you are interested, and also to know if we can get it time. But although I'm looking towards that's still something we can pass across. But yes, one we have one on Sunday, then another class again will be most likely Wednesdays and Thursdays. We'd also have like maybe a short 30-minute session for more like questions, because again it's going to be practical based. So let's say we meet on Saturday, for example, and you get, we start with practical. You are given a task. You are doing something, right? You learn faster when you do practical. Trust me. You learn faster when you do practical. So let's say you're given a task now on Saturday, right? And we are moving back to say um, the next class will be on Thursday, for example. There will be like a 30 minute more like window on Wednesday to listen to you, and let us know where you have questions. Although you can also still put your concerns in the group chat. Do you understand? You can also still talk in the group chat and get responses. But it will also be like a time again, because we are here to support you, and we're here to make sure that no, you actually get this particular thing. So it's more of grammar part is taking you from start to finish. Where we're not taking you and dropping you halfway, we're taking you from start to finish. And first class will be on Saturday, which is this Saturday. If there's anything that will change, I'm not sure yet, but again, that is it. I knew I wanted to keep this short with just the intros and put some things in place. But at the same time, I would like to now hear from you if you guys have questions or you have concerns, or probably you have areas that you think you want to talk about or you need more clarity on. So I think everybody here is muted, or are we saying nobody's hearing me?
I can hear you. I don't have a question.
Okay, that's great. So does anybody here have a question or have something? If it's concerned too.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Paul.
I'm Paul by name. Okay.
Yeah.
From what you posted now, I just said infrastructure designs using AWS, Azure. Are we using both the AWS and Azure? Because I think these are cloud computing platforms that almost do the same thing. Are we going to learn both? Because right now I'm already into AWS a little, just trying to go through it. I've started it already. So and in your introduction, you spoke more about Azure. Are we doing both, or we have to choose one?
So in cloud computing, we have about three leading bodies, right, in this part of the world because we lean towards the Western world. So, and in that part, we have AWS, Azure, and GCP. So what we are teaching you is something that would work all around. Like you said, they are doing basically similar things, right? But most organizations use, some of them will use Azure, some of them will use AWS, some of them would even use the both of them. Like I think I'm aware of PalmPay. PalmPay uses about three different cloud providers. You understand? So this is now more of saying we're going to teach you both AWS and Azure. Your project will be based on either of them, right? So as you're doing things in AWS, I can tell you, okay, fine, go and read, right, bring up something like this in Azure, which is why when I shared in my introduction, yes, I spoke about Azure, right? But because I remember then I was talking about virtual machine. No, in AWS, virtual machine is EC2. It's called EC2, right? While in Azure, it's called virtual machine. These guys, they do the same thing. Well, most of the same things, but they now have, the only thing that is different is their naming convention, right? So your virtual machine in Azure is called the virtual machine. Your personal computer now in Azure is called the virtual machine. In AWS, it's called an EC2 instance. You understand? Um, the virtual network, your network, right? Sharing and all those things. Network connection in Azure is called virtual network. In AWS, it's called VPC, virtual private cloud. So they do the same thing, but the names are now different. That's why we are not looking at just teaching you one cloud provider. Anything we are doing in A, we'll do it in B. Do you understand? So that any system or anywhere you find yourself, right, you'll be able to still do something.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Uche.
Yeah. Um, in the course outline, Google Cloud Platform is also included, but you've been talking majorly on both. So are we learning the three or just two of them? Or AWS and Azure? And the other thing I want to ask is the class for Saturday, is the time fixed yet? Sorry, I joined the class late. Maybe I've spoken about it before. I don't know. I wonder if the time is fixed
Um,
yet.
no, I've not fixed a time yet, and I'm looking to have that conversation. But it is something that when it really gets fixed, right? Which we should be most likely today, tomorrow. You see it in the group chats, right? Then for to answer your Google Cloud, like I said, the three of them are like they're like the top in this part of the world, right? When you are going towards the Asia part of the world now, or the Asia part of the whole, yeah, the Asia part of the world, you'd see that part, their own Tencent part, which is US, UK, Canada, and all those things. We make use of AWS, Azure, and GCP. There we have over 20, 30 different cloud providers, right? We have over 20, 30 different cloud providers. Just now, I mentioned 6, right? So, like I said, what we are teaching is something that anywhere you find yourself, right, you would be able to still do something. And the reason why most people are beginning to lean towards Google Cloud because among these three, right, Google Cloud is the least used. But again, we would also see play around with Google Cloud. We are not just going to go in depth, right? Because focus for this is AWS and Azure. But yes, we'll still play around with Google Cloud and see a few things in there. Of which some of these things
Okay, thank you.
might even be you going an extra mile. This is it. I can't teach you everything, right? And I think I pretty much like what was the name before? The other guy that was like he has started with, he has I think it's Paul. Yes, Paul. That I said he just started with AWS and stuff like that. This is not going to be a hand to mouth kind of session, or it's not going to be a hand to mouth kind of training, right? Like I said, it's practical based and we'll work hand in hand. The classes will be 2 times in a week, Saturday and either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll decide that one when I see the number of people who will join the Saturday class, right? I think this whole thing is still paid. So when you pay, you'll be able to join the Saturday class. So that's when we're actually now going in depth with how we want to have the next class. Now, if you do it 2 times every week for 4 months, you can't learn everything in cloud computing. I'm sorry. But the good thing is that since it is now practical based, some of the learnings will be done yourself. I'll be there to guide, I'll be there to support and put you on the right path, right? But I will not be there to always spoon feed you with everything. Just what I'm saying. So there would also be more work from your own part. You would also put in the work, which is why Rema Part is even giving a discount. The price Rema Part is giving is actually very, very low because we understand that if we collect the money, it's just going to be on our own part. So many people have gone through this kind of trainings and they can't do anything inside. Some people have gone to learn about software development. Some people have gone to learn product design. People have gone to learn data analytics. And you can't do anything inside because, again, you depended so much on who was teaching and, you were getting every single thing from that person. But in tech generally, you also have to put in the work. You also have to take your time to research. You also have to take your time you also have to take your time to do some extra hands. Yes, I am there. But I'm not going to do everything for you. Do you understand? So we will touch each of these, cloud providers, but you don't expect me to now start doing every single thing that they can do. Start doing everything AWS can do, everything Azure can do, everything GCP can do, right? Some of those things will be things you on your own will spend some time generally 10% being taught. I'm sorry, if you put in the money, it's going to look as if you are wasting it, right? Because if you want to do this and you want to come out after 4 months standing, trust me, you also have to put in the work. It's not going to be easy. I'm not promising that. I'm sure Paul, who is even doing AWS, Paul, how long have you been? Have you started learning? Like, how long has your AWS journey been?
Okay, I started late December.
Okay.
Uh,
I
so
very good. But yes, this is not going to be like a spoon fed, right? This is going to be you working, me working, everybody happy, and not just happy now, everybody making progress. Where before this time next year, at least you two you'll be confident where you are, and you'll be in a very very good place. Because trust me, there are opportunities. It's actually who can take up those roles that we don't have. So do we have any more questions? Does any other person want to say something?
Good evening.
Yeah, good
Yeah, so
evening, Zo.
sorry, yeah, I'm just a beginner here, actually, with no knowledge of it. So I have a neighbor that is into it. So she said she wants to open an AWS account for me and probably like fund it where I can begin projects. So will I be using such thing here? That's what I just want to know.
Um, yes, you will, but for now, right? Yes, you will, but for now, there are still ways we go about it, or go about the AWS registration where you get free credits. AWS also supports learners. They give about $300 worth of credits, right? That you can use to learn. Azure too also supports. Azure too gives $200 worth of credits that you can use to learn. So when that time comes where probably everybody needs to set up their own AWS account and something like that, trust me, that'll be a good time to. You can create your account if you can do that now, you can do that later. Really does not matter. But yes, definitely, you create resources, you work around different projects, right? If you if you you know if well, I look forward to meeting you on Saturday. But yes, you would have these accounts, you create these resources, you would work around these kind of things.
All right, thank you.
Okay, do you have any other question? Anyone wants anything? All right, so I look forward to meeting with
Hello.
everybody.
So sorry, please. Hello, thank you so much for all you've said so far. Please, what I want to ask is, are you guys making provision for what is it called, vouchers for certifications, such as all these AWS, maybe solution architects, associate and the likes? Is there availability
So
for that?
I think the only thing here that we have is more of guide you through certification parts, right? So we are not going to give the vouchers, but if probably along the line maybe we have our partners who are willing to sponsor a few number of people, right? Then that's fine. For now, there's no guarantee that we will give vouchers. Although what there's guarantee on is that we can put you on that part where you can get free vouchers, right? We can point you in that direction if one wants to come across those type of opportunities. You understand? But guarantee from Rema part giving vouchers, no. Did I answer your question, Peter?
Yes, you answered my question. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you very much. All right, so I think that will be all from me. I'm, I'm look forward to meeting you guys. I look forward to meeting you guys on Saturday, right? And yes, I'm also in that group chat. My name is Yaya in that group. I think my name is Yaya. Yes, so you can just tag me for anything, right? And yes, I'm more than happy to answer you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Hello.
Right, so I think I'll leave the stage now for Temitope. He's already saying something. All right, so I'll leave the stage for the anchors, right? I don't know, I'm not sure if they are still here. Temitope, are you here? All right, then I think if there's any other thing, please, you can always just drop a message in the group chat. Right, we are there, we are seeing it, and we would follow through.
Hi, Yaya. Thank you so much for the session. I'm sure I and everyone that is on this call learned a lot. Thank you to everyone that joined, and we are so sorry for the change in the link. We had an issue with the first link, but thank you so much for joining despite the short notice of the second link. And like Yaya said, this course will take you from being a novice to a professional in cloud computing, and we would like to have everyone here on board. And this course is just going for 50,000 naira, and the details to make payment would be sent on the group. So I would be sending a link to a WhatsApp community now that anyone and everyone here should join, because it's not only going to be about the course. We send interview tips, job opportunities in tech and also outside of tech. So if you are looking for a community for your career in tech to get better, to learn tips on landing your new job, Rema Part community is the right place for you. We are a bridge between success and failure, and we are on a mission to empower every young person with the right skill set and resources that they need to thrive in this current world. So I don't know if Yaya has mentioned this before, but the cost is supposed to go for 150,000 naira only, but we were able to secure funding with our partners to provide it for 50,000 naira. So the cost of this price is a giveaway price, and I encourage you to not miss it because it would be a game changer in your professional career. So I already sent the WhatsApp community link, and I implore everyone here to join. We hope to see you in class. I would send further details on making payments if you're interested to us, maybe via email on WhatsApp. Thank you so much for your time once again.